Keith, I've been doing this for a while now, and one of the things that I've found is every winter you guys go through the same problem all the time, and that's keeping your walkways free of ice and snow. The safety factor alone isn't the only issue that you have to deal with, though. A lot of the stuff that's out there on the market that you put down causes a variety of problems for you. First off, a lot of stuff out on the market is real harsh on the concrete. So over a short period of time, it pits your concrete and literally causes it to start to shatter and break apart. Then on top of that, you have that white residue that they're constantly tracking in. And if you don't get it fast enough, it'll eat through the wax on your floor, it'll eat through your carpet, it'll literally ruin things and just create an incredible amount of work for you to have to do. Keeping up with that's a major issue. And then on top of that, another problem that you've got is if your guy over sprinkles or oversprays, that stuff gets into the soil and it kills all the shrubbery, the grass, and then you're spending all spring reseeding and refertilizing. It just creates a large amount of work for you. The great news is at Chemco, we've come up with a fantastic solution to that problem called Chem-Thaw. Now what I'm going to do, what you want to do at this point is you want to go and fill a small sandwich bag full of water. Come back to the customer and let them know, Keith, I want to show you how Chem-Thaw works. If you'll open that top for me. I'm going to take a little bit and I'm just going to pour it right down in. Now the problem with most ice melting compounds, the reason why they track in so badly and they're so rough, is they work off of friction, which means you can put it down on the ice and snow, but it's actually not going to heat up until either someone walks or drives something over the top of that ice melting compound. The reason why it cracks your concrete is because that friction, that constant pressure pushes it down into the pores of the concrete, and then as it heats up, it expands and causes that concrete to break apart. Now, the great thing about Chem-Thaw is Chem-Thaw doesn't work off of friction, it works off of moisture. So I want you to go ahead, now that I've put a little in, I want you to feel that.
It's kind of warm.
Yeah, you see how that heats up?
Yeah.
And that's without any friction at all. That's just from the moisture itself. So the minute you put this down, and a lot of times what happens is you get a snow that comes through real fast. You don't have time to put anything down. If you have to put this down on top of it, the minute it hits that moisture, Chem-Thaw is going to start working. Now, another problem with a lot of ice melting compounds is they only work to about 15 below zero. Okay? Some of them don't even do that well. They only go to maybe 5 or 10 below. Some only work to 30 degrees, which is basically freezing. Well, here in Missouri, it gets a lot colder than that, doesn't it?
Yeah.
The great thing about Chem-Thaw, which we've nicknamed, by the way, no crack, no track, is it'll work up to 40 below zero, which, if it gets that cold, I'm moving a lot further south. But not only that, because it doesn't work off of friction, it won't crack or hurt your concrete at all. One of the biggest challenges I had a funeral home that had just put down fresh new concrete 6 months ago. And he asked me, Steve, is this going to work? And I said, I honestly don't know. I've never tried it with concrete that's that fresh. But they put it down and it worked great all winter long, and they've been buying it from me ever since. The other beautiful thing is, I want you to notice as I'm running this through, over time, this product is going to dissolve. When it dissolves, this water is going to turn completely clear. So what that means is no tracking in. You're not going to have to worry about constantly going behind people and cleaning up after them. Again, still feel how hot, warm that is. And now, and now that it's almost dissolved, you notice that it's actually starting to clear up. Then the other best thing about this is this has calcium in it, which means it's not going to kill your grass or hurt your shrubbery. It's actually going to help them to grow better in the springtime. See how clear it's starting to get? So the great thing about it, it's going to be easier for you. You can even put it out as a pre-treat, Once that moisture starts hitting, it's going to start heating up and melting it right away. You're not going to track it into your facility, you're not going to hurt your concrete, and you're going to save the expense of having to constantly refertilize or reseed the next spring. How does that look to you?
It looks good.
Great. Now, Keith, we package this a number of different ways. We package it in 25-pound bags, 50-pound bags, or 100-pound drums. What works better for you?
I think I'll take a 100-pound drum.
All right.